Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And hi everyone, I'm Rosetta, and thank you so much for tuning in to our weekly chats. We do appreciate you tuning in every week, and we just want to remind you that if you love our chats, we would like it if you could hit that like icon, subscribe below, and also hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our chats. So let's jump right in today, Wednesday, October the 7th. So
Uh,
before I forget, sorry, I had a moment there. Before I get and talk about the teas that we're drinking, right? And today I am drinking a decaf Jamaica. It's a Japanese tea, and what it consists of is, I'm going to look for the ingredients, organic decaffeinated green tea, organic roasted rice. That's basically what it is, and it's organic, non-GMO, USDA organic, and it's a Japanese tea. There you go. So that's
oh,
what it is,
nice.
and you
Yeah.
pronounce it Jamaica. So there you go, and I will do cheers to everyone. Cheers, Gloria. Cheers
Cheers
to
to
everyone
you.
watching.
Cheers.
Yummy.
Yes, and I am drinking, I love lemon and I love ginger, so I found a new tea. Make sure
Nice.
that
What brand is that? Organic? Oh,
is
that's a good
organic,
one.
and it's the one that made that the rose tea that you and I love is by, but
Organic India. Oh,
yes, it's
Tulsi. Tulsi. There you
yes.
go.
And it's
Nice.
supposed to be stress relieving and reviving. It's caffeine free, which I love, love, love. Um, let's see, the ingredients are lemon and ginger.
Very, very great. Very
Get much
simple.
clearer than that.
You can't get more simple than that. And I love it. The fewer the ingredients, the better.
Absolutely. I always go by the rule of 5. If it has more than 5 ingredients, I try and I don't know. So cheers, my friend.
Cheers again, everyone.
Mm.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yes. So we always kick our chats off talking about Ellen. Ellen always reminds us to be kind to one another and to listen to one another. As you know, her regular show is back on the air. So welcome back once again, Ellen. We're so happy that you're here. And last night, she kicked off her game of games. And it was really interesting because the contestants were not social distancing. They weren't wearing masks. Well, Rosetta and I found out that's because they were sequestered 9 days before they actually did the recording.
Yes.
In a hotel. So that way they could make sure that everyone was safe.
Yes, and they were tested, and they said that they had to have 4 negative, sorry, not positive, negative tests before they were allowed on the set.
Yes. So she also, while we were all sheltered at home, built an indoor roller coaster, which she added to one of the games. And it looks pretty serious. I mean, the contestants, when they first got in it, they were all cute, and then all of a sudden they started lifting them up before they shoot them down. I think it was a little intense, but it was a great laugh, and I'm glad everyone was safe, and the show is back on.
Yep, and that looks scary, that roller coaster. Ellen knows how to scare people. She sure does.
Yes, she does. So let's talk about some current events. I think, I don't know if it was the number 1 or if it was the second, only to the return of Eddie Murphy. Saturday Night Live with Chris Rock kicked off a skit. And in the skit, it was the president, Vice President Biden, and Senator Kamala Harris, played by Alec Baldwin, Jim Carrey, and Maya Rudolph. It was hilarious.
It was the funniest thing ever. It was just, my goodness, everything down to their nuances, their expressions, the way that that Jim Carrey was doing the fingers that Biden does and everything. It was amazing.
Yes. So if you didn't get a chance to look at it, we suggest you go and look for last Saturday's Saturday Night Live. It was very, very funny. Very funny. Dancing with the Stars had a little bit of a hiccup on Monday. It was, and some of the individuals that shared words it was a mess. Tyra was on stage. She was going through the final countdown to determine which couple was going to be eliminated. And there are 3 couples on stage. And then she says, and the couple that will be, and then all of a sudden it's like the people in the control room are like, wait a minute, no, we're not there yet. We still have 3 people on stage. The judges are standing up and looking perplexed because one of the contestants that should still be on the stage has already been told they're safe. So it was a little bit of a crazy mess up. However, Tyra kept her cool and everything turned out to be okay. So as we all know, Coney Barrett is up for nomination by the President of the United States as the next Supreme Court Justice. So Rosetta had done a little checking on Amy.
Yeah, last week we did talk about her very briefly. We didn't go into detail, but because prior to this, I did not know much about her. To be honest, I'd not heard of her. So I did some little, digging into exactly who is this woman. And I took some notes and I wanted to, I'm sure some of you are wondering who she is. So I'd like to just give you a brief idea of who she is. She is a mother of 7 and she is graduated from Rhodes College with a BA. And she attended University of Notre Dame. She was born in New Orleans in 1972. So she's 1 year younger than me. I don't know why I brought that in, but that's what it is. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes. She serves as a circuit judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit. What else? She's an excellent it says here, excellent judicial records, shows she will protect rights of Americans and defend the rule of the law. Now, this is all what I'm reading. This is not my opinion. So if you have anything to say about this, then you can put it down in the comments because I don't really know too much about her. It says she brings a wealth of experience from her time in private practice, academia, and public service, and she has exceptional legal experience. And what else? Which makes it, they say that because of her exceptional legal experience and judicial records, that makes her the right choice to serve on the Supreme Court. And she also has proven record of success, received numerous awards as a result of her excellence as a legal scholar and professor. So that's what I found about her. And all in all, it seems like she'll be a decent candidate, but I don't know what maybe some of you may know. So that's what I found out about her. Anything you want to say, Gloria?
Just that Mitch McConnell, even though the White House is going through its own individual COVID-19 pandemic right now, they are going to start on Monday, October 12th, to confirm her. I don't know. As a mom, I think I would be a little concerned that I took all my children to the White House a week and a half ago when the announcement was made, and a lot of people that were in attendance there are coming down with COVID-19. So I hope that everyone that was there realizes COVID-19 is not a joke. And it doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor you are, if you're male, female, child, or an adult, this condition is serious. So I hope that she can focus her attention on the law, and she will always show up to protect the rights of American citizens. That's my wish, because there are people who think that because the Republicans love her, that she can't walk the path of the law, and she's only going to, first thing out the gate, the first two things they think she's going to work on is repelling Roe versus Wade, and the second thing is the affordable health care. And, all I can say is, if you are the new Supreme Court Justice, please think about the lives that you can impact with your decisions going forward. You are going to fill some big shoes. RBG she's watching you, so do the right thing. That's all I have to say.
Yep, and we'll all keep an eye on how it moves forward.
Yes. Now we've got a couple of things that are a little sad to us, and it hurts our hearts. Chrissy Teigen and John Legend did something very extraordinary in that they shared the passing of their son, Jack. Most women who have a child and they feel that child growing within them, and then for whatever reason, the pregnancy is terminated, you always feel like, what did I do? What didn't I do? What could I have done better? And I think by them sharing this information, they are helping a tremendous number of people. Of course, there were negative people who immediately got on Instagram and said, oh, why would you share this? Oh, inappropriate, etc. Chrissy, I love her because she does it her way. She doesn't let anybody tell her what she can and cannot do, can and cannot say. So my thoughts and prayers are with them both, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yes, we're all really, really saddened about this. Nobody wants anybody to go through this. I can only imagine, because I've not been through it, I can only imagine the devastation, and it's probably going to take months and months before they actually get back to normal family life like they used to prior to this whole incident. So our well wishes and sympathy goes out to Chrissy Teigen and John Legend and the whole family.
Yes. And this morning we woke up to the loss of two great musicians, Eddie Van Halen, who was a phenomenal guitar player. He and his band created some amazing, amazing music. And I had forgotten that he was married to Valerie Bertinelli. And there's a young picture of her sitting and talking. They were being interviewed on Good Morning America. And she was talking about communications and how important, sometimes you just have to sit and listen to the person. So that was just very, very sweet and tender. There are lots of his fans all over the world that are very sad today. And then we also lost Johnny Nash. And Johnny Nash, most people will hear that name and they go, I don't know. And then you say, he did, I Can See Clearly Now. I remember, one of the songs that we learned to sing early in choir was, I Can See Clearly Now, the rain has gone. There are no more obstacles in my way. I mean, just very, very positive, upbeat songs. So to both sets of families, Rosetta and I would like to send our deepest condolences for your loss.
Yes, thank you for saying that, Gloria.
Yes. So we're still going through phases of global warming. Here in the Bay Area, we're continuing to have fires. The firefighters are, they're doing an amazing job. We have over 2,600 firefighters in the Bay Area now from all over the world trying to help contain these fires, because everything will be really good. Our air quality is bad, it's hazy. We know the sun is out there, you don't really see it. And we'll think, okay, everything's going good. And then the winds will pick up and the fires will pick up and we're back in the middle of it. I had heard years ago, I think I had just forgotten, a lot of prisoners are taken out of jails to help fight the fires too. So, I'm grateful for anyone that will step up and work to save California and to protect the citizens, because, you know, when the fires went into Napa and Calistoga, we lost 17 wineries.
Wow.
17.
Yes.
And the crops this season, they still don't know if they're going to just toil them over, because the first wave of fires, they were like, okay, so the wines might have a little smoky flavor to them this season. The last wave of fires were just so devastating. I don't think that's going to work this time.
No,
So
it's not going to work because it's too much smoke. There's no way that anyone can drink those wines in that condition.
yeah, so that's what we're dealing with here. And then, you know, hurricanes. I mean, they keep saying things like, you know, we still have a month and a half more here in California for our fires. I have no idea what this means for hurricane season. You know, does it end at the end of October? Does hurricane season go throughout the winter? So there's another hurricane, it's more than one, there are a few. The one that they're most concerned about right now is called Delta. And it's already hit Cancun. So it's already done its first wave of destruction. And now it's moving into the Gulf line of Florida and Louisiana and Texas. And right now it looks like it's going to lean more to the right than to the left as the previous one did, but it's still going to go inbound. So our thoughts and prayers are with you all. You guys feel like you're flooding and you just can't get out of water, and we're praying for water in California. And we pray to God, can you like give us each a little bit of each other's drama, because it would make life so much easier for all of us.
Yeah, we're thinking about everyone who's been affected by, whether it's the fires, the hurricanes, anybody that's affected by just nature, by nature. That's really, really devastating.
Yeah, I mean, to think that our fire started with a lightning storm. And, you know, there's also stipulations that it could be due to, you know, vandalism or arson or anything like that. However, we know the main fires were started by lightning.
But it doesn't help when there are people that are starting the fires on top of the already fires that we have.
Yes, it's not healthy at all, at all. So we are going to just continue to pray for all of us. We know that this too shall pass, and, you know, just be kind and love one another, and we'll get through this too. Also, as you know, because of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and, you know, I can keep going on and on, which is sad in itself. We've had a lot of unrest in America with COVID. People are sheltered at home, and we are seeing things now at a domestic wide level that I don't think we would have seen if we were all out and about in our normal lives. So peaceful protesting is continuing around the world in support of Black Lives Matter. One of the latest events that just happened, the Texas Rangers have arrested a Texas Wolf City police officer. His name is Sean David Lucas, and he shot a young man named Jonathan Price. He was an unarmed Black man, and there was a domestic disturbance, and Jonathan was trying to stop the domestic disturbance. He wasn't doing anything wrong. The police officer first tased him, and then he shot him. So, of course, they reached out to Jonathan's mom, and because once the Texas Rangers had arrested the police officer, and they asked her, you know, what do you want? And she says, I just want justice for my child. I want that police officer to stay in jail and to pay for killing my son. Her son was a good man. He was only in town to help take care of his mom. And to lose his life by someone being overly zealous was just shocking.
And he was actually trying to break up some kind of dispute that was happening. So he was doing good, and all of a sudden he gets, I don't get why he got tased and shot.
Right.
That was very, very, that was sad, sad, sad. And we, you know, rest in peace, and we wish his family well wishes, and we just, you know, hopefully, you know, justice is done for this, because this is not right, not right.
And I always thought if someone was tased, you can't do anything when you're tased, you're down.
Right.
Why was the additional weapon used? I don't
Why was it necessary?
Right.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll never know. And the time will come when the officer will be speaking in court or whatever, and it'll probably come out what his thoughts were. They'll probably question him, and it'll probably come out as to why he thought it was necessary to tase and to shoot. But we'll never know. Until then, we'll just wait and see what happens.
Exactly. Well, you know, we always think that our children are the voices of the future. So Rosetta was checking out the internet one day, and she found this video that we would like to share with you.
Yes, very, very cute video.
Okay, let's share my desktop. Okay, so let's play. I'm going to make it bigger, and then we're going to play.
Exception of your family.
Oh, it's about
Have you ever
Donald
been
Trump.
told no?
I love Donald Trump.
Oh, many times. I started off in Brooklyn. My father gave me
A small loan of $1 million. Wait, a small loan?
$1 million isn't very much compared to what I built.
It hasn't been easy for me, but I'm filthy rich.
We're very stupid people in the country negotiators, and we have leaders that don't know what they're doing.
Like yourself? He's talking about himself.
$505 billion. We're going to lose that. $505 billion. And by the way, I don't like this mic. No, this mic is terrible. This stupid mic keeps popping.
Why are you talking about a microphone? He's like a 5-year-old. He throws tantrums about like stupid things.
For a principal, and I'll tell you.
Biggest liar. This guy will say anything.
You will too.
Nasty guy. Now I know why he doesn't have one endorsement from any of his colleagues.
All right,
So undiplomatic.
When you point to his own record, he screams, liar, liar, liar. If you want to go.
Where did
and
I support it? Where did I
If you
support
want
it?
to go.
Where did I support it?
It's kind of like me and my brother. Let Donald Trump talk for once. Yay! They're both like the rare half guys of Beverly Hills.
Somebody should run against John McCain. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. So I never liked him as much after that because I don't like losers.
Oh my God. So you shouldn't like yourself
He
then.
hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Oh my God, that's so mean.
You don't really joke about that kind of stuff. It's really serious.
One of the things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. You've called women, you slob.
Not sure what happened there. It's paused.
Hey, O'Donnell.
Sorry, everyone.
Mine isn't right.
Classic trope.
Our country has tremendous potential. Let's make America great again.
Still is great. And you're just gonna make it worse. I don't want him for president. If he becomes president, I'm moving to Canada. He's on the news, he's on Vine, he's on social media, he's on everything.
A lot of people have comb-overs, but that comb-over.
Watching these, what do you think of this guy?
He's funny, he's a nice guy, but the other people that are rude to him, they don't let him talk. I think he's a horrible person, no offense. A lot of people like him only because he says things that other people don't have the courage to say. But sometimes you just gotta keep some certain things in.
One of the women said like he didn't have that politician filter and he just says whatever he feels like saying.
If he's gonna be rude to ladies, he shouldn't be a president.
Why do you think people like him?
Probably because they think he's smart.
The people on the news were saying that he was like feeding into people's fears.
My parents like him because they say he speaks his mind, but I hate him.
Well, some people are saying that he speaks his mind, that so many people that run for president always just say what everyone wants them to say.
I think it is not right to do. I think it isn't that nice as a president, because presidents are supposed to be nice.
You have to appear confident, but I like it when people are humble at the same time.
He speaks his mind and doesn't really care what people think, but sometimes the thing that's not presidential is what's on his mind.
Trump has said that if he's elected
Wow.
president, he's going to do things like create jobs and protect our country. But he's
Wow.
also proposed doing things like placing a ban on people from the Muslim religion from entering the United States until we can figure out the terrorist problem, and building a wall between the U.S. and Mexico to keep out illegal immigrants.
That's stupid. My friend has a brother that lives in Mexico, so if he puts a wall, they won't be able to come over here. It is a free country. You're just taking that away.
There are Muslims in the world who, hate what's happening and wish that they could stop it. To just ban all of them would be a little extreme.
Mexicans coming into the U.S. without having to do anything. When my parents coming from Italy and having to do all this stuff when they don't have to. I mean, that's stupid. Some of his ideas are not the worst, but most of them are. He should not be.
Care who the next president is going to be?
Well, as long as it's not Donald, I'm fine.
It does not affect my life whatsoever, and I only care about sports.
The rules are good. Yes, because we're pretty much the next generation, and we're going to have the country next. It matters a lot, because the president can remove laws, he can make new laws.
I don't really care because I somewhat trust the adults.
There are
Sad.
people that think that he shouldn't be running for president because they think he isn't qualified. He had his own board game once, and he also has been on WWE.
He wrestle?
But his supporters think that that's the type of person the country needs. They need someone that is more like everyone else.
Everyone had a job before coming president.
I like people with a different background, but I also want someone who's more into politics. You need experience to become president. If you have no experience, something's gonna go wrong. Well,
Wow.
difference is good. It's just maybe a different type of different.
Do you think Donald Trump is going to become the president?
No.
I don't think he'll win.
Fingers crossed he's not. No. Or at least I'm hoping. I pray to God, no. Donald Trump will not be our next president. Yes, but I don't think he should. Everyone in my house is guaranteeing it, so I have to. Might. But there's no telling. I mean, anything could happen.
Wow. That is
Wow.
amazing from the lips of babes.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. President
And
Trump's
that
That
video was
is
from
amazing.
2016. So that was before Donald Trump became president.
Amazing. I mean, even the children said, we need a president who's smart. We need a president who, was compassionate. I mean, some of the decisions that they were just discussing as a child, they were like, no, we don't want a president who's just going to make blanket statements, who's just going to, take everybody out of our country just based upon their heritage. I mean, these are our babies. And, that was 16. So now they're 4 years older. I would love to see a remake of that video. What do they think now as young adults?
Wow, yeah, that would be so great. 4 years later, I'm going to see if I can find something. Maybe they
Yeah.
do another video. We'll have to see. I'm going to look it up, and if I can find it, we'll play it next time.
Yes, that was
That was
awesome.
mind-blowing. Kids, they're just so smart. They really are.
They really are, and they're unfiltered. They just let it, they just let it roll. They're like, this is what's going on. This is what we're doing. And I love their contribution.
Yes.
All righty. So let's do our weekly COVID update. Always, always, always wear your mask. Please look, Rosetta brought up an excellent point. We were talking a little earlier. We always chat before we chat a little bit, just to make sure we have a nice flow to our discussion. And she was saying how other countries are doing so much better than we are right now in the United States. They're all saying, you know, they're distancing, social distancing. I can't stand that word social distancing because I think it's confusing to our kids because everything is social media, social this. I think it should say physical distance. So they're physically distancing at least 6 feet apart and they're wearing their mask. Please, everyone, wear your mask. It is imperative. And if you had any doubt about wearing your mask, well, about a week and a half ago, there was an event at the White House in which the president officially nominated Amy Coney Barrett for Supreme Court Justice to fill in the place from our beloved Supreme Court Justice Ruth. So what happened is 24 individuals have, not just the president tested positive last Friday, went into the hospital. 24 individuals in attendance to that event have tested positive so far. And we don't know how many more people are going to come out and say that they're tested. This is impacting a lot because the Joint Chiefs of Staff are having to sequester at home because either they have tested positive or they were with someone who did test positive. The president's press secretary, you know, she's so cute and she's always so sweet and bubbly, and she is always with him. She tested positive. In preparation for the presidential debate, Chris Christie, who used to be the mayor of New Jersey, he was with the president, him and Kelly Conway, and they both have tested positive. COVID is not a joke.
No, it's not. And we've always said this in all our talks, that we need to take this more seriously. Do not think that just because Donald Trump went on TV and said that we shouldn't be scared of the COVID, that we don't really want to take that as everything is fine and dandy. COVID is not what we think it is. A lot of people have long-term side effects from this COVID. And it's not just, okay, you get it and then you recover from it. No, you have lifelong effects that come from this COVID. So I was just watching a show and Alyssa Milano was on it. And she said she got the COVID in March and April. We're in October now. She's still having a lot of side effects from this. And this is something that she was listing off all the different things that she was still experiencing from the COVID. So it doesn't mean that just because you're done with it that you're fine and everything is back to normal.
Right.
That's what we say.
Yeah. I know. And I think I always thought, even if people were very careless and, you know, so old people are getting it, you know, they're old anyway. Okay. And I always said, you know, if people don't pay attention, this is going to start evolving to younger ages. So then we went through a period where it was between 29 and 40, you know, the plus 65, because everyone was staying home, it kind of balanced out. The next thing I heard was, here we go, we're moving into a new segue. And now I'm hearing children are getting this. I don't care who you are. How can you be so careless with your behavior that you don't care if a child gets this? Because like Rosetta said, this has lifetime complications. So if a 8-year-old has lung problems today, that doesn't mean they're just going to go away. That child could have to live with COVID-19 complications for the rest of their lives. Please wear your mask, physical distance. Do your part to protect and love your community, as I hope they will all protect and love you.
And on top of that, wearing your mask, don't forget, hand sanitize and wash your hands as much as possible.
Yes. My hands are, I mean, they're so, I wash, And I just heard, because I like hot water, so I'm always in hot water. And I was watching a show, and I think it was Dr. Jen Aniston from ABC News, Good Morning America, GMA3. She's over all those shows, and she was saying not, too hot and not too cold, like a medium warm water is better. And with the agitation of the soap to break down the virus and kill it. So I was like, well, I figured if it's hot, the hotter it is, the faster it would kill. So,
Too hot. Yeah, too hot, and you get wrinkly fingers.
yeah, there you go. So you learn something new every day. So I gathered these numbers yesterday, but they're pretty good because I put a plus. So the current number of confirmed coronaviruses in the United States is 7.4 plus million. In the United States, the loss of lives is around 210,000 plus, and the recovery rate in the United States is 2.9 million plus. So give or take a few, those are the numbers that we're at. So let's not be the worst country in the world, people. Let's slow down, let's pay attention, and let's take care of each other.
Yes.
And one of the best ways to do that, what were you going to say, Rosetta?
No, I was just agreeing with you. Just let's try and keep these numbers down, because from what I know, we haven't really, we've been seeing increases every single day.
Yeah, they're not stopping. And now that a friend of mine, she called the White House a peachtree dish, because when President 45 went back home, is that Monday he went home? I think it was Monday, and the helicopter landed, and he walked up the steps, and the first thing he did was he took off his mask. I was just mortified. I thought, oh my God, not so much that he is somewhere where, if he's going into the White House by himself, no other people, fine. If you're going into a public place where there are other individuals, then protect them. And you could see that he was tasked breathing when he took the mask off. He was trying to catch a deep breath. You could see that. And then the White House photographer comes up, takes pictures. The photographer has on a mask, but the president doesn't. And then he goes inside the house. My serious concerns is that we always make sure that when, like if I'm outside and someone walks in the cul-de-sac where I live, I always have my mask in my hand. I put my mask on. It's not that you have to wear it 24/7, but if you're going to be around someone, put on your mask. So, the president is getting great care. However, the typical American citizen is not going to get that cocktail that he got to make him feel better. They're not going to get oxygen treatments every day, and they're not going to be put on steroids. And those things also come with complications. So please listen to the scientists, listen to the doctors, because they care about us and our families and our children. Please listen to them. So tonight, we are going to all get an opportunity to see our vice president's candidates square off in the vice presidential debate. Initially, Kamala Harris wanted to make sure there was enough distance, because Vice President was actually at the event on Saturday with the president. She was like, I just want to make sure Vice President Pence and I are apart. I want some type of plexiglass in between us. And initially they were like, oh, that's just overkill. Now that 24 people have it, they're rethinking it, and they're like, oh, we wouldn't fight against that at all. So maybe they're starting to get a clue, because, our president is 74. That's a hard age to get this condition.
And he does have previous pre-existing health conditions, because he is obese.
Right. So that's another reason that, now's the time to Let your voice be heard. Just like our babies in the video, now's the time. So the last day to register in California is October 19th to be able to vote in the November 3rd election. I have a friend and she has already received her ballot from Santa Cruz, the county, and she filled it out, submitted it, and she's already received a confirmation that her vote was received and counted. Wow. So I'm hoping and praying that a lot more states are going to do that, because we just heard the state of Texas, which is huge, is trying to consolidate and eliminate polling drop boxes. How do you have 5 million people and you're going to go down to one drop box? That's called voter suppression. My thing is, if you are out there doing things right now to break the law, and by the grace of God, life changes, I don't want to hear it. I don't want you all to complain about anything, because we elected you to take care of us. Everybody in Washington, D.C. is an elected official. And for you all to turn your backs on us and allow the devastation that's going through our country right now, that lands squarely on your back. You cannot come out on Monday and say someone is an idiot, and then on Thursday, I love that brilliant person. You can't do that. We're watching you all. I have friends that are, oh, you know, I don't like any of the candidates. Well, now's not a time to not like the candidates. Now's the time to take action. And just like a baby, you teach that baby how to crawl, and then the baby starts to walk, and to your dismay, the baby starts to run. And that's what we have to do with our country right now. We have to start over by crawling and walking and running towards the right things to do for all citizens of the United States of America. Hashtag vote 2020.
Yep. As Gloria said, I agree with everything she says. I don't know what else to add. Nothing much to add.
Well, you and I, we think a lot alike. And, you know, her son, my son, I always tease her, my boys are grown. She has her son, I call him her baby because he's 16 and I know he's a young man. We talk a lot about the future of our children because we want them to be able to go outside and breathe. We want them to have a good quality of life. When by the grace of God, they get married and they start having babies, or they have babies and then get married, because, you know, our new generation, they don't put any time limits on how they love and when they love. We want them to know what it's like to go outside and play. There is no joy more beautiful to a mother's heart than to hear your baby giggle when they're just being happy and playing. So you can go to ballotready.org, and starting next week, Rosetta and I are going to start digging into the propositions. And more importantly, yes, it's a presidential election, but there are also lots of other things that are going on. I don't know if you all were as surprised as I when the president announced that when President Obama was in office, he left 120 judge positions open. And he goes, I filled those and I've done about another 160 or so. I've done almost 300 judges in the last 3.5 years. That's a little concerning, just a little bit. So it's time for us all to, you know, get involved. My sister, her philosophy is, if you're not a woman, I don't really want to look at you anymore. She's so done with men and the challenges that they're putting forth in the world today. She wants some women, some love, some compassion. So please join Rosetta and I and hashtag vote 2020.
Yep, thank you.
So in closing, we always start with Ellen. We kind of end with Ellen. So Ellen was in the Bay Area yesterday. Did you know that? Did you know she was here? She was in Berkeley, California. She went to visit a young girl named Julia. Julia has a terminal disease and it is not looking good. This condition prevents her from eating. And
Yes.
it's just very devastating. And one of the things that Ellen, she used to do this all before, and it's wonderful to see that loving side of her is continuing, was to help families going through difficult times. So the little girl loves Meghan Trainor, and Ellen takes out her cell phone, calls Meghan up, and says, I've got someone here that wants to meet you. And she turns the phone to Julia. And Julia's like, oh, I'm so excited. And so Meghan says to her, so you're on Instagram, right? And she goes, yep. So she, Ellen's holding the phone and you hear the tapping. And she goes, oh, we're connected. She goes, I'm going to start stalking you. Can you imagine how happy that makes a young girl who doesn't know every night she closes her eyes if she's going to open them the next day? And then Ellen reached out to Demi Lovato, and they went through a similar process where Demi got a chance to talk to Julia. So I was already, eyes are teary, I'm feeling the love. And then Ellen gave Julia and her mom $50,000 to help the family with medical expenses. That's the Ellen that Rosetta and I know and love. And it was so wonderful to see the ongoing love and support. That was really beautiful.
Yes. And I just wanted to talk about this Julia. Her actual disease is a genetic disease. And she said that her body, what it is her body doesn't produce enough energy. So every part of her body is affected by this disease. So it's genetic. So I'd never heard of it. It's very, very rare. But yeah, we're really happy that Ellen is back on highlighting, because if it wasn't for Ellen, we wouldn't know about this this girl and many, many other people that she highlights. So good for you, Ellen. I'm just very, very thankful that you've come back and you're going to start highlighting these people again. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So as always, we love for you to hang out with us and get to know us a little bit better. We're so grateful for your time.
Yep, we had such a great chat today, everybody. And we love that you could join us every week. And I'm going to remind you again, please like our videos, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. And if you have any comments or feedback on what we discussed today, please let us know, because we'd love to hear from you. And as we are Silicon Valley Girls Chat over tea, we love our teas. So anyone watching out there that has teas, sells teas, makes teas, has a tea shop, would you like us to mention your teas in any of our future chats? If so, let us know. Get in contact with us. We'd love to feature your teas on our chats in the future. So thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. And remember to always keep smiling. Take care, everyone. Stay positive. Bye-bye.
Bye.